Something, because a lot of people are saying, especially like in the UK, with the people getting banned just for saying anything or doing anything that's out of the norm with whatever it's happening. A lot of that has happened and has been happening in Latin America for such a long time. And X now is the number one source of news around the world for a lot of people.
Yes.
We saw what Lula was trying to do in Brazil with shutting X down. And I don't know if you know that there was a little bit, entertainment is being used a lot in the weapon. Ecuador and Mexico, with their little scrimmages, had Mexico prevent one of the most popular shows, Chavo del Ocho, from airing in Ecuador. Because of they're doing like holding entertainment away from the people to try to change social change. One of the, fun people that's on the news, I don't know if you saw this, but Maduro, the Venezuelan, should we call him Venezuelan, person in charge at the moment of the military, he wants...
Dictator?
Yeah, Dictador Amado. I don't know if you saw this, Andre, but he got into he wanted to fight Elon Musk recently.
I did see that. That was hilarious. Yeah, no, I found another better name. El Presidente. How does that work?
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Yeah. Entonces, si la gente no están atente con esto, el señor Maduro, el gran presidente de Venezuela, si lo es o no lo es, quién sabe, pero según en las redes sociales, que es un poco de ironía que él toma a las redes sociales cuando quiere censurar las redes sociales en estos tiempos, está diciendo que el nuevo villano, Elon Musk, ahora también tiene otro amigo que es WhatsApp. Entonces lo que está pasando es que Maduro quiere ahora cancelar WhatsApp. Y uno dirá, WhatsApp, si esos son tus amigos en China. Pero, quién sabe, capaz que ahora los amigos no le dieron la hoja. Entonces eso es lo que está diciendo.
Yo voy a eliminar mi WhatsApp de mi teléfono para siempre. Poco a poco iré pasando mis contactos a Telegram, a WeChat. ¿Ustedes me entienden? Es necesario hacerlo. Dile no a WhatsApp.
And he forced all of those people to come out in the rain. That's really horrible of him.
No, because he's so benevolent. He's a benevolent dictator.
Yeah. Didn't he also think that Elon Musk was going to send bombs or rockets?
Yes.
Or
so
like
the last one, So the last one, when he was going to fight him, and it says you are not going to send your rockets, here to try to take over, because I guess he thinks it's kind of like the Terminator, that Elon Musk has these Terminators that can come in and just take over the country.
Yeah, I have two questions then. One, is he really that delusional that he thinks that? No. Or does he think his people are that delusional that they will believe that? And that, we have to stand by Maduro because he's going to protect us from Elon Musk who wants to bomb us.
Right. That's the thing. He wants to tell his people that this is what it is. But I mean, the same thing is happening in the UK. Just recently, the Prime Minister was talking about going to people's house for people retweeting certain.
And they're actually doing it. I mean, now the arrests have started. Yeah.
Yes, we won't play it here because sometimes funny things, on the YouTubes. But go check it out anywhere. There's people getting arrested just for retweeting and tweeting, Facebooking.
But they're very selective, though, because this is something that Keir Starmer has been accused of two-tier policing, because the whole narrative around the riots in England is that it's all right-wingers and it's white people and everyone else needs to be protected from them, with no mention of the groups of immigrant gangs that go and roam the streets and attack white people they come across, or what triggered the protests in the first place. So it's absolutely two-tiered policing going on there, and it's quite scary to see, and it's certainly not going to make relations between the government and the people any better in the UK in the near future. I mean, they may be able to run this riot, but they've lit the fuse now. It's going to be bad. I have to say, I'm glad I'm not in the UK right now.
No, it's a lot of people are not happy with what's going on. But he's going for the WhatsApp now. And now
which is ironic because it's the same people that own Facebook, isn't it? So we may as well go after Facebook in the process.
Yes, very much so. And so he's gonna change it to WeChat, which is the Chinese equivalent. And you have these little social media wars that are happening now because social media has become more important than the newspapers. Everybody kind of knows that the newspapers are foul. Now in Latin America, we do have, a lot more knowledge of this because, we've seen it so much. With Milei coming into power, and one of his stands in Argentina was to rally against social media. Bolsonaro also in Brazil, and also now we have in El Salvador. Basically the people who embrace like Milei and Nayel in El Salvador, who embrace social media change and using social media to run their campaigns. And we have Maduro here because the opposition used all those social medias to get more attention. That's another reason why he's banning them. But do you think, Andre, with social media now being such a strength throughout the world in political power and entertainment power, do you feel that it's going to be more pressure on X all around the world?
Absolutely. Because just keep in mind, before X, before Elon Musk, Twitter was the modern day Pravda, by which I mean it was the modern day means of social control. We learned this from the Twitter files. CIA, everything, they all had their hands in it. It was used as a means of control and spreading certain narratives. And the powers that be that do that, they lost that control with X. And you see that already in Europe, how you have like the leading politicians in the EU. And these are politicians that are not elected by any people. No person in Europe ever voted for Ursula von der Leyen to be one of the most important politicians in the continent and to decide the immigration policy of the entire continent. No one ever voted for these people in the EU. People have voted for their national government. That's pretty much it. And still, they are the ones who are issuing pressure on X because of the fake news. By fake news, they mean very real news, but news that are impractical for them and that they cannot stop by any other means than by banning the platform. So you already have this. In France, for instance, Rumble is banned for that same reason. It's too much disinformation, so they don't, or what they call disinformation, which is why it's not allowed in France. And I think you'll be seeing more of that. And that's simply because, as we see right here, X is the source of real, unfiltered news. And there is actual fact-checking. By fact-checking, I mean community notes, rather than fact-checking, which is done by news organizations, which is more political whitewashing than it is actual fact-checking. I mean, something that's blatantly untrue can go through fact-checking just by how they choose to frame it.
Yeah, and they don't seem to like the control that they can't frame it.
Not in this life, no.
Yeah, and as you saw, President Trump went on Ian Russ stream on Kick, I believe, and that got such massive support that more people are calling for him to not do debates, just go on social streamers for support, and a lot of people are excited for this.
Yeah. And another thing, just to illustrate how important X has become, because it is by far the biggest, and it's the one that's really growing. And to illustrate that, when Biden was helped to drop out to reach that conclusion, because Obama threatened to 25th amend him if he didn't, that was announced on X. That was the first platform. It was dropped on X. Not through a press conference or something like that. They put it on X. That is just goes to show how big that platform is, and thank God for it. And we should all be grateful that it's one where they don't have control over the narrative.
Right, and you see that's why Maduro and people like him are fighting against it in other countries, and it's a fight with the people, and the people have already spoken. We want to get unfiltered news. We want to get news that we can fact check and we can deal with it. But I thought that this was really good on behalf of former President Trump to go on with Elon Musk. And you have so much now with X doing more videos. Do you believe, Andre, that X could be the new YouTube in the sense of what they're trying to do?
I don't think it's going to be the new YouTube, but I think it's going to be probably the most viable alternative to YouTube in time. I think so, yes.
Because I think
I think it's going to be something radically different that can't really be compared to you. I think that X and YouTube are two different things, delivering different services, fulfilling different needs. But I do believe that as a video platform, in a few years' time, it's going to be X and YouTube in a league of their own. Others like Rumble will still be there, but X and YouTube will be the dominant ones. I do believe that. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it's kind of more. I think Elon's trying to make it more into a WeChat. Guys, if you have not used WeChat, it's kind of like the Facebook X YouTube hybrid, as we call it, and it's mostly used in China. And since a lot of Latin America has, Argentina alone and Brazil, the Chinese population is really big. In countries like Argentina and Brazil, that they do use that app a lot. So it's a little bit of a hybrid of that, which I think it's very enticing for a lot of those countries.